Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another Games Explained with me, Bridger. And today we're taking a look at Through the Ages, a new story of civilization. Now this is a very popular board game that's basically on its 4th edition and like 17,000th printing. It's very popular. It's number 3 on Board Game Geek, which is like the main site for board gamers to rate and rank and discuss board games out there. And it's got a marvelous digital implementation. So let's jump into it. I know this came out a while ago. I know this isn't breaking news to many of you, but it was on sale, so I finally picked it up on PC. I've had this on my Android for a while, and it's phenomenal. So let's jump into it, shall we? We're going to play a custom game, and we're going to show you guys how it works. We're going to explain as we play, and in the future, we might jump into some actual multiplayer games, play against other players, and discuss our strategy and things as we're going. But for now, let's talk about how the game works. It's a really, really cool Civilization-style game, but here's the rub. This is a Civilization game without the map, which is... If you asked anybody, that's insane. How could you do this? But Vladishavadl did it. Vlad did it. So here we are. This is what the digital implementation looks like. This is your sort of home board that shows you what your civilization has available. If you were to play the board game, it would look like this. You would have this board in front of you, and you can see it's got a variety of different cards. The red ones in the top left corner are military cards. The yellow cubes represent actual population units associated with that technology. So there's 2 swordsmen, there's 2 knights there. You've got 1 farm and 3 mines and different things on there. Then you get the urban buildings in the top right, which do other things. Wonders are purple on the far right, and then you got a leader on the left. So that's kind of giving you an idea of what the digital implementation is representing, because it's true to the game itself. Now, in order to see behind the curtain here, we can click on these and see, oh, there's the cards, and there's the little yellow cubes that you saw. In this case, they're yellow circles representing your population points. So we have 2 farms on this agriculture card, 2 mines on this bronze card, 1 philosophy population guy, 1 philosopher. We have no priests on the religion card. And then you can see we've got 1 warrior on that card. Here's our government card that shows our maximum number of civic actions and our maximum number of military actions. So that's seeing behind the curtain. And in the bottom corner, you see what's called the blue bank and the yellow bank. Now, the blue bank is just your little pool of resources that go back and forth. They go from the blue bank up to these cards representing food and resources, and then when you spend them, they go back to the blue bank. We'll explain why that's important later. The yellow bank represents your potential future population. And the way this affects the game is when you grow your population, you can see that growing my population right now costs 2 food. And if all of the population units from this box are gone, then these numbers come into effect. Growing my population is now costing me 3 food to grow, and each turn I lose 1 food for consumption. So when I grow it another 4 times after that, it will be -2 for consumption and 4 to grow. So that is how the yellow bank works. Your population goes... when you grow it, you go from potential population. You can also consider that space around your empire that you're expanding and settling into. And when you grow your population, it goes into the idle workers spot right here. And then when you go to actually build a building or put a worker into a military unit, they go from the idle spot to that unit itself. So that's the life cycle. They also can come back to the idle spot or sometimes be destroyed and go all the way back to your population, to your yellow bank. So that's how those pieces of the game work. So that's what your entire empire looks like. There's no map. You're not seeing an actual geographic representation. You still have combat. You still have trade. You still have all these other essential pieces of civilization. You just do it with cards. So in the physical version of the game, you also have this big, what's called the card offer in the center of the table. And these are priced from lowest on the left to highest on the right. These 4 cost 3 civil actions to claim. These 4 cost 2, and these 5 on the left all cost 1 civil action to claim. And you can see a little 1 yellow ball representing the civil action cost at the bottom. Now, when you claim them, why you would claim them, these things will all become apparent as we play. And the different types of cards all represent different things. Purple is wonders, yellow are action cards that gives you bonuses and things like that. Now, what is the goal of this game? Like most Civilization games, it's about showing who is the best, the most glory. And in this case, that's represented by culture. So culture is the end game. Whatever you're doing, you need to do it with the ultimate goal of getting more culture points. Are you building a big military? Well, you do it in order to get culture points. Maybe you'll do that by declaring a war on one of your opponents and crippling their empire so they produce less culture. That is one way for you to get ahead in culture, is crippling other players. Another way might be building some religion buildings, because that gives you one culture every time, every turn. There are other cards that give you more culture. Some wonders would give you culture. Here's an example. The Hanging Gardens give you 1 culture and 2 happy faces, 2 happiness. So that's an example of another thing that can give you culture every turn. Some cards just straight up give you culture, not per turn, but just here, have a dump of culture. So that's the goal. What are these other things here? Well, science. You get science from labs. This is a lab. We have 1 philosopher, and it will give us 1 science per philosopher on this card. So we're getting 1 per turn. Then we get 1 resource from each of these 2 mines, and 1 food from each of these 2 farms. So that is what this income is representing here. Now, all that having been explained, let's look at the first turn, which is slightly different from every other turn. In the first turn, the first player gets 1 civil action to spend on the card row. Then, without refilling the row, the second player gets 2 civil actions to spend. Then the third player gets 3 and the fourth player gets 4. So I get first crack at this, but I can only buy one of these first 5 cards because I can't afford these other ones. The green player is going to get either the ability to buy 2 of the remaining cards that cost 1, or he gets first crack at these level 2, etc., etc. So that's the balance to the turn order thing. Now, Roman roads, you know I've always been partial to playing as Rome in most of these Civilization games. So that is what I'm thinking I might grab. In Age 1, you produce an extra resource. In Age 2, you produce 1 extra science. In later ages, produce an extra 2 culture. That's phenomenal. In addition, it's real easy to build. It takes a long time, but it's not costly on any given turn. So that might be the one I want to go with. But there are these other ones to consider. Julius Caesar is a leader. Leaders are permanent sort of bonuses to your empire. And when I say permanent, I mean permanent until you either replace them or 2 ages have passed. So the Age A, Ancient Age leaders, will go away at the beginning of Age 2. Age 1 leaders will go away at the beginning of Age 3. So if we grab this guy, we know he's really only going to be good for 1 age, because we're about to leave the Ancient Age. These guys can give you some good bonuses, but they don't last nearly as long as the leaders you can get in Age 1. During your politics phase, you perform 2 political actions instead of 1. That's good, but it's not what I'm feeling right now. These action cards are great, but they're going to cost me a lot of potential future actions and other things. I want to get this Roman road. So I've got the Roman roads unbuilt. I have to pay to build it in the future. It's going to cost me lots of civil actions, but not a lot of resources in any given lump. So my turn is over. I hit end turn. We're going to watch green spend 2. So we'll come back to what just happened there, but green grabbed a leader and the rich land card, and then he did his production. Production always happens at the end of your turn. It looks like yellow grabbed Cleopatra and stockpile. That was a 2-pointer and a 1-pointer, and now red can grab 2 2-pointers or a 3-pointer and urban growth. Let's see what they do. What did red do? Ah, they started production on the Library of Alexandria Wonder. But I wonder why they didn't spend their last point and grab that other card. Interesting. Okay. So, I would love to have this Engineering Genius card. Build 1 stage of a wonder and pay 2 less. It would cost me so many civil actions, though. I only get 4. I'd spend most of my turn just picking up this card. That's no good. So, instead, I'm going to look at the cheaper cards. Confucius is an interesting option. Whenever you prepare an event, and when Confucius leaves play, score an extra science. You may prepare non-event military cards as events. Oh, so you can refer, okay, non-event cards as events, and then when revealed, everybody gets an extra 1. That's interesting. What's Homer do? He gives you an extra 1 for building and upgrading military units, and when you replace him, you get happy faces. Ah, because he wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, mayhap. I can't take another wonder, because you only have 1 wonder under construction at a time. Frugality is a pretty good thing to have, but I don't know if it's worth 2 civil actions. Let's take this one step at a time. I've got 2 resources, and I could either build 1 stage of a wonder, right? I could build, with these 2, I can build the first stage of the Roman roads, or I could build 1 additional mine, 1 additional farm, 1 additional philosopher. No, actually, that costs 3. I can't build that. I could build 1 additional warrior. I'm not too worried about our military strength at the moment, but resources are really key to building all of those other things. So I'm going to build an extra mine. So you can see I spent the 2 resources I have, and I spent the population point that I have. Now I have this building here. Next, I'm going to grow my population. So I'm going to take 1 from the population bank, pay 2 food, and grow my population. So now I don't have food or resources left at the end of my turn. So I can't build anything else, but I still have 2 civil actions. Urban growth would let us build or upgrade an urban building and pay 1 less. That's a pretty good one. I'm going to take that one for 1. And patriotism lets us build military units at a discount and get an extra military action. That's okay. I think we're going to take Confucius. And that way we can put him as our leader next turn. Just not having a leader is just a big waste of a potential bonus that you're not using. So let's explain what happens at the end of the turn. It's really fairly simple. I'm going to produce 3 resources, 2 food. And we'll see that happen right now. There we go. 3 resources and 2 food. Now, there's a little more to it than that. We'll show it when it becomes necessary to represent what's more complicated over time. So green started that wonder. We can see Moses is making his way down the track towards us. Now, it's worth pointing out, nope, yellow now has Cleopatra as a leader. See this red X? That means if the current player doesn't take that card, it's going to be discarded no matter what. So yellow didn't actually draw any cards, but the path still went down. Red did grab that card. And now it's going to be our turn. So it's back around to us. And you can see this Ancient Age cards, the A cards, they're done. We are now getting Age 1 cards that are being filled here. When all of the Age 1 cards are gone, we'll enter a new age, Age 2, and at the end of Age 3/beginning of Age 4, the game is over. So that's when we have to have the most culture. So now let's take a look. We have these 2 new cards here. So we have civil cards, which you draw off of this pile here, and they're public. You just leave those face up in front of you. Everybody knows that you have them. Then we have military cards. Military cards could be random events like this one, or they might be defensive cards like this one. If somebody tries to attack us, like green is stronger than us right now, because I think Julius Caesar gives him an extra, Julius Caesar gives him an extra military strength. So if he plays an aggression card against us, we'll have to defend ourselves with our military plus any cards that we can muster. So that will be useful for defense and as well as colonizing things. But now we can talk about the regular turn. The regular turn sequence is a politics phase where you can play an event or an aggression or a war or a pact. Those are your options to play during the politics phase. We only have one option because we only have an event. So all civilizations lose 1 population. Why would we play this event? Well, if you play events, you get culture equal to their age. And you also get the benefit of knowing that this is coming up in the future. Other players may spend all of their population and not leave one in the idle worker spot, but we will know that we need to keep an idle worker there. Otherwise, we're going to lose a building and we'll have to rebuild it and re-spend the resources. So that gives us a bit of an advantage. And what you can see here is when we played the event, we played it into this discard pile face down. Only we know what this card is. But these randomized ancient events now triggered the top card. After all 5 of the rest of these ancient events are gone, we shuffle up this pile, and that becomes the new pile of events. So I know the 6th card from now, the 6th event played, might be that Pestilence event. Meanwhile, the card that we actually got is this. On your turn, you may build an Age A temple for free if you have an idle worker. We do have an idle worker, and it's real tempting to build an Age A temple for free. So let's do it. So now we're past the politics phase where you can do one thing. Now we're in our actions phase where we can spend our civil and military actions to do all kinds of different things. From take cards in the top of here, play cards from our hand, and also grow our population and build buildings and things like that. So that all having been said, we've got 3 mines. So our production is going pretty well. We can build a 3rd farm, which will get our food income going well. And that would be okay because we do have enough happiness to get ourselves out of this box without getting discontented workers. The happiness comes from that priest that we just built there, the temple. We could take stuff from this Age 1 section over here that costs 3. That's so many. It's so inefficient to do that. We could also get swordsmen, which would give us the ability to get stronger military units. But so far, we don't really have the science to build the swordsmen yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my action to play my leader card. So now whenever we play an event in the future, we get to score an extra science. Yay! Now, what are we going to do with the rest of our civil actions? Well, let's grow our population by 1. And let's also build a farm. There we go. Now we have 1 resource left over, but our income is 3 from the mines. And wait a minute, it's 3 from the farms, but we're now losing 1 food to consumption every turn. Because we grew our population out. This box is entirely clear, so now the cost to grow our population has gone up by 1, and the amount of income food we have is down by 1. This requires you to constantly keep up on your farming technology if you want to grow your empire, which makes sense. We need to get that irrigation because it's twice as effective as our current farms, which is what agriculture in general. So that was a very productive turn, I think. We could not build this wonder because we need 2 to do it. That would have been a good use of this last civil action, but we could look into one of these options. Rich land would let us build or upgrade a mine or farm. Well, we don't have the technology to upgrade our stuff yet. We might in the near future, and it does give us a discount towards it. This gives us a discount towards growing our population, which might be a better use of our action. We also have the opportunity to grow, to build a building at a discount too. But with 3, fine. Let's get this for a future discount because with the Roman roads that we want to build, we're going to be short on resources until we finish that up. And we want to finish that up soon. So now I'm going to end my turn and we're going to do all the production steps. We're going to gain 2 food, 3 from the mines, 1 science, and 1 culture because of our temple. So we're doing well there. We can actually click this and see what's everybody's current VP score. We are in the lead with 1 victory point. Huzzah! And we can also see at a glance what everybody else is doing here. I miss on the mobile app, I feel like you used to be able to see the victory points listed just over here. But I guess they changed that. Now, the other thing that happens at the end of the turn is we get to draw a number of military cards equal to however many military actions we have left over. So if we don't spend military actions to grow our military, produce new tactics, or attack people, then we get cards that let us do more military or event things in the future. So remember, sometime in the near future, we're going to want to leave a worker in this idle box because we know that pestilence is a-coming. So we're in the politics phase of green. Green skipped their politics, and they went straight to the actions. They're taking cards. They grew a second lab. They built a second lab, so now they've got better science income than us. But we do have Confucius. He's helping us out. Every time we play an event, he's going to give us a science, which might very well be every turn. That's a pretty powerful thing. All right, so here we are, almost back at our turn. Ooh, they took Warfare. Now, Warfare as a blue card is basically a technology card. It's like these buildings, except you don't have to put a population on it. It just is. So Warfare, for example, gives you an extra strength for military and an extra military action. So here are our cards. Now, we can't play any of these during politics except the event. So let's... Oh, actually, because we have Confucius, we could play these as the event. But let's see this. Each civilization immediately scores science equal to the amount of science it produces. So knowing this, we might want to build a lab before this card triggers. But this is going to give us a free victory point, and it's going to give us a science thanks to Confucius. And we're going to trigger another event, Development of Planning. All civilizations, 3 unused Age A events are revealed on your turn. You may choose and apply any one of these events to your civilization. Wow, okay. So this is our choice. We can't do this one because we don't have an idle unit. That's another reason to have an idle unit early in the game, by the way. A lot of these A cards, these ancient era events, give you the ability to take your idle unit and build something with it quickly to get yourself off the ground. So, we can draw 3 military cards. We can gain 1 population. I like that. So we've done that one. Okay, now we're on to our actions. So we've got the 4 and the 2. This swordsman is at a nice discount now. It costs only 1. And so does this irrigation. We know we wanted that because we bought rich land specifically to upgrade our farm or mine. Let's definitely buy irrigation. Take that card into our hand. The other thing I kind of want to do this turn is I want to build the first part of those Roman roads. We need to get that built. It gives these benefits every turn it's completed, so the earlier we get it done, the better. We can actually build 3 stages of it right now. And then next turn, we can just finish it. That seems like a good thing to do. There are other things we could do. We could take bread and circuses or one of these other things. The swordsman will come back around. Besides, I don't know if you've noticed, but we got a tactics card that gives us a bonus if we build a lot of cavalry as opposed to infantry. So we might just wait until those knights come around. So since we don't really need anything here, we don't really need to spend any of this here, let's build 3 stages of the wonder. The first stage costs 2, then the next 2 stages each cost 1. That's 4. That's how many resources we have, and that's how many civil actions we have. Now, there's one more reason I want to do this Roman roads thing. That's corruption. Because we have so much, 6 resources between the resources and the food, 6 of our blue bank things come out of this first box and are sitting here not doing anything. If we ended our turn without spending anything, then we would lose 2 resources due to corruption. Because, you know, if grain's just sitting in a silo, not being allocated to anybody, the bureaucrat in charge just go, nobody would probably notice if I just take a little bit of this, right? So you got to spend your stuff in order to avoid losing it to corruption. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build 3 stages of the wonder. Boom. It's almost complete. We now have no more actions we can take as civil actions. We do have military actions. I could play this tactic. If I had any resources, I could build a military unit with those military actions. But instead, I would like to draw some military cards because I want events, because Confucius wants to play some events. So let's just end our turn. We get our production, which means we've got enough food to raise our size next turn. There was a pact proposed by green. That's another type of military card, by the way. The blue cards are pacts. In this case, he was trying to propose to green, hey, how about I get to use one food as a resource, and you get to use one resource as a food. And for whatever reason, red said, hell no, I don't benefit from that enough. I don't want you to have that power. Now, ooh, this is interesting. Green is offering it to me. I get to use one food as a resource during my turn, and green gets to use one resource as food. So this is a good pact for me because I have a lot of farms, and irrigation is going to make my farms even stronger. And since I don't see any ironworking coming my way, I'm going to accept. Okay, so this pact is now in effect until one of us cancels it. And it doesn't matter what the other guy does. Even if he doesn't use that pact on his turn, I still have the ability to do it. So green continuing his turn. So far, he hasn't finished his wonder either. We're going to try to finish ours next turn to start taking advantage of it. Development of trade routes. Each civilization scores 1 science, gains 1 food, and gains 1. Wow, that's great. Unfortunately, it applies to everybody, but it's still great. Wow, yellow has a ton of military cards. They had to discard all the way down to 2, though, because at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to your maximum military actions. So you draw a bunch of extra military cards at the end of your turn, and if you don't use them during your next turn, you have to lose all the way down to your max. And the max, by the way, I don't know if we covered this, is based on your government card, which I'm trying to pull up here. It's just there it is. So everybody starts with despotism, which is you get 4 civil actions each turn, 2 military actions each turn. You can have up to 2 urban buildings. So now that we're here, we get a politics. Now, we unfortunately don't have any events. And that's annoying, but we are allowed to play non-event cards as event cards. Why do we do that? Because it gives us a science, and it gives us a culture point. And when it pops up, it'll give everybody 1 more science. And the event we triggered is all civilizations gain 2 food or 2 production. Holy crap. We have so much stuff. I don't know what we're going to do here. I think in order to spend the resources we do have, which is 4, we're going to need to grow our population a couple of times. So I think we need the food, unfortunately. Otherwise, I definitely would have taken the resources. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We have to, as I mentioned before, we are now in critical condition. If we don't spend what we've got, we're going to lose 4 resources at the end of the next turn. We lose all these resources. So the first things first, let's finish these roads. Boom. I can use the trade route agreement, and I'm going to, because I will grow my population with twice in this turn, which costs 3 each. I've got 7 food, so paying 1 of my food to do this allows me to now have a perfect number. Now, what are the other things? We've got 3 more actions. We've got to spend all this stuff. So let's spend 1, 2, and then the last one will be take one of these idle workers and do something with them. Or, yeah, we have to, okay, instead of leveling up twice, why don't we do something with one of our idle workers? I'm kind of thinking another lab. Get more science going on. Remember, we put that event in there. We know that if you have 2 labs, you're going to do better in the future. So let's do that. And we actually, thanks game, it reminded us that we have this card, build or upgrade an urban building and pay 1 less. So we pay fewer resources to build an Age A lab. Luckily, that gets us under the corruption limit, so we no longer have to spend everything here. That means our final point could be used to grab something off of this track. And warfare is nice because it gives us an extra military action. It gives us an extra military strength. And we don't have to spend population on it. It's just in effect. Bread and Circuses is a new type of urban building. For every population point we put here, we get 1 strength and 2 happy faces. That is also phenomenal. Dang it. What are we going to do with our population, though? Where's it going to go? We know we have to keep one in reserve. I think, as much as I want this, we're going to forego it and just grab the warfare. These blue technologies, if you can afford them, are really good. And we have 7 science. We are sciencing the crap out of this. So I'm all about getting this. And we can't play it this turn because we're out of civil actions, but we can definitely play it next turn. Now, I could also spend this turn building, using one of my military actions, building an extra military unit this turn. But what I really would like is another event to play next turn. So I'm going to let myself draw 2 cards. Now, as I mentioned, at the end of your action phase, if you haven't played these cards, you have to discard down to your max. So I got to discard 1 of these. So we're producing a ton of resources now. Each civilization gains 2 food. Wow, again, with this ridiculous situation. Look how much we have to spend. Now remember, our Roman roads gave us an extra resource at the end of the turn there. I'm trying to pull it up, but it doesn't really let... There you go. It doesn't like it when you pull it up on somebody else's turn. I wish I could just look at stuff freely while the other players are going. And maybe if I change the settings here, you can. We can change this to fast. We'll just have it instant, just to make this go a little faster here. Resume game. Oh, so they did development. Oh my god, there's way too much stuff. How are we going to spend this all in 1 turn? Whew. Okay, now it's our turn. We have a couple of options. We can play an open borders agreement with somebody. Both civilizations have 1 extra military action, but if one attacks the other, the attacking civilization adds +2 to its strength. So if we trusted somebody, like we don't want an open borders agreement with Red. Red might want one with us, but I don't think we want it. So that's a card just like this trade agreement card, but I don't think we need to play it. Instead, let's play it as an event, which means it's just giving us science and culture. It's not actually coming into effect. Meanwhile, what's the first one here? Ah, this is the one that I played, which means all players get an extra science. That's good. Now we're on to our turn, and we have so much to do! So much to do! Look at all this crap we have to spend! I have a proposal. One of the things we can do is get this monarchy card. That's a new government. Instead of having 4 and 2, we'd get 5 and 3. Another option is this theocracy card. Instead of getting 5 and 3, we'd get 4 and 3, so not as many civil actions, but we would get 1 free culture per turn, 1 extra strength, and 1 free happiness. Those are all good. Are they as good as 1 extra culture? Or 1 extra civil action, I mean. The answer is it's real hard. I think I want monarchy. Monarchy is also a little more expensive, which suggests maybe it's a little bit better. So I'm going to take it because governments aren't easy to come by. So I'll take this. Now, I've spent 1 civil action. We've got to spend these other things, for God's sake. We can't take any more cards because of this situation here. The Great Wall would cost us, would get rid of some of our resources, but it would cost us all of our civil actions to get. So that's a no-go. That's definitely a no-go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase my population because that costs us 3. So that helped us a little bit on spending resources. Here's the thing about monarchy. I can play monarchy. It can go into effect. and immediately I'll get the extra civil action. So we have 4. When I play it, I'll get the 5th one, which will come in as an extra. So I think I can play this. And by the way that monarchy works is if you have the higher number of science to spend, you can develop the government peacefully. If you do not, or you don't want to spend it that way, you can spend all your civil actions for a turn and pay the lower technology cost in a revolution. But we have enough to get it peacefully. And as you see, we still have 2 left. We spent 1 to get monarchy, but then we got 1 when we gained monarchy. So now what we can do is use 1 civil action to build ourselves irrigation. So now, if we click here, you can see we've got an age 1 farm, which produces twice as much as our age 1, or as our ancient age farm. But here's the problem. We still need to spend our freaking resources, like a lot of them, before we're done here. So here's what we're going to do. Rich land is still a good thing to do. Upgrade a minor farm and pay 1 less. When you upgrade a farm, you pay the difference. So in this case, we're going from 2 to 4. That's good. That's great. We love it. But, yeah, I think that's what we got to do. So we'll do this, and we'll use the rich land to make it a discount of 1, which I know, it kind of sucks. It's not my preference. I can spend food on it. Which is, I think, what I might want to do. How much? I have a lot of regular resources. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a brand new farm instead. That costs us more. We'll be able to spend more of these resources, which is great. And I am also going to pay 1 with my food. I can't upgrade this anymore. I can't get any more things, but I've got to spend at least a little more. The good news is I have enough military actions that I can do things. So I can spend the resources here. Oh, that's not enough. That is unfortunately not enough. So we're going to have to rethink that turn. We can't build the extra farm. In fact, we might not want to. We have so much stuff. Instead, why don't we do this? 1 costs us 1 and 1. And then 2, that's still not enough. But here we are. The third action can be to increase our population, which will give all this food back. There we go. So now we've escaped our corruption dilemma. We've managed to figure out how to spend as much as possible. And what it's done is given us 3 military strength. That's real good. We can actually increase that further. But if we do, we won't really be able to benefit from it. I mean, we will kind of. We're gonna hold off and get 1 more military card. Instead of spending a military action to play a tactic, we're just going to get 1 more card this turn. I know we can still pay a tactic, but we want to draw the card instead. Oh, we got another tactic instead of an event. I was hoping for an event. Yeah, this does appear to be going a little faster now. The computer doesn't have to show you everything. So here's an example of an aggression. So Red, I've been hoping to get some of these. I haven't gotten them. Red played the aggression enslave. It cost him 2 military actions, and if successful, he would gain 2 resources and 2 food. The rival he was aggressing against would lose 1 population on his or her turn. In this case, however, the red player with 6 strength tried to aggress against the yellow player, and the yellow player used their 2 strength plus these 2 cards to match the red player's 6, so the aggression failed. If the yellow player had not had a second defense card, then they would have lost, and the red player would have managed to win their raid. So you can see now, trying to keep parity at the very least with your opponents is very valuable. And it's possible for these strength numbers to get incredibly high, 30, 40 by the end of the game. Even like 10 or 15 by the middle of the game if you have the right types of technologies and tactics. So we're back to me. I don't have any events, but I don't have horses at all, and no prospects of getting them soon, so I'm going to chuck this tactic as an event using Confucius. Pestilence. On your turn, lose 1 population. For all civilizations, we still have 1 in the hopper. We knew this was coming. We thought it through. So we lose an idle worker. Other players, let's see. This guy's going to lose a building or a military unit. He has to choose. This guy's going to lose a building or a military unit. And this guy's going to lose a building or a military unit. So that actually worked out real well for us. Worked out real well. Now we're on our actions, and we've got 5 and 3 this time. Very valuable. What I'm a little concerned about, though, is we don't have a lot of ways to generate happiness. And so, I think the Great Wall will be a good pull. Or Himeji Castle, also good. It gives us 2 culture per turn. When evaluating a war or aggression, you may choose one of your units at its strength. Oh, you get to double the strength of one of your units, basically. It also gives you 3 culture if attacking or an extra 3 defense if defending. Well, that's really cool. But then you sacrifice the 1 unit you've chosen. And the Great Wall, does that have any extra? You have +1 strength for each of your infantry and artillery units. That's amazing, too. Let's use this because it costs a total of 9. Hegemony Castle, Himeji Castle. Jesus. Cost is faster to build, however, and it gives us more victory points. We'll figure out the happiness some other time. Let's take this wonder and start its construction. In fact, we can finish it right now by spending... we're going to do it. Look at this. Boom! And... yeah, we're going to pay 1 and 8. There we go. We finished the thing, and now we've got the Himeji Castle, and that gives us the extra 2 strength and extra 2 victory points per turn. Fantastic. And all these other bonuses. And we have enough to use our rich land, giving us a discount, to upgrade our farm. So we can upgrade this guy, so he's producing 2 next turn instead of 1, and we'll use the rich land card, and that's the last action of our turn. That is valuable because this way we'll be able to get enough food to grow more population next turn and get more dudes. So we built a wonder in a single turn. Fantastic. And you'll notice, by the way, for each wonder that you've completed, the next wonder costs an additional civil action to pull from the row here. So it kind of prevents... I know I could play the tactic, but you know what? I will do it this time. I'm going to play this tactic, and for this turn, it's exclusive to me. Nobody else can use it. And what that does is, for every group of 3 infantry, I get an extra 2 strength. So now I'm at parity with green, and I'm actually ahead of red and yellow. If I draw an aggression as one of these 2 military cards, next turn I could use it to attack yellow and try to take some of their stuff, unless they build up some more defenses. And after this 1 turn is over, other people will have access to my tactic, so they can copy it. Oh, hey, we've got colonization. So what happened was, in addition to the other types of events, we now have what are called colonization events. When these pop up, we're now all going to bid to get these colonies. If you win a colony, you get the instant bonuses listed in the middle and the permanent bonuses listed on the bottom. And what you're bidding is military strength. So, in effect, you are weakening yourself in order to gain this colony from overseas. So, for example, my maximum bid right now would be 1, 2, 3. And if I sent them all at the same time, it would also send an extra 2, because that's an army. So that would be 5. Plus, I could spend this card as an extra colonization. I could send a maximum of 6. But if I do, all those military units and that card are all sacrificed. So how valuable is this to me versus keeping my military where it's at? I did not draw an aggression action. So I am not going to be able to attack. Red might attack me if I spend my entire military getting this. Let's take a quick look here. Minimize it. What does Red have for cards? He only has 2 military cards. What are the odds that he has aggression cards in there? I'm going to do it. I'm going to bid 6. 6 is my max. That's what I'm going to bid. I could bid 5 and keep this card for defense, but it's not worth it. I'm going to bid 6. I could also bid 2 and just keep one of my military units, but that's not super valuable either. I'm bidding 6. I just barely won. I beat yellow there. So they all did their secret bid. It's then revealed, and I won. So now I have to sacrifice all of my units. 1, 2, 3, which immediately makes it worth 5, plus this card. Colonize. So what were the benefits of that? That particular colony, if we pull it back up, it gave us the science, obviously. And I think, what did it give us? 1 green and or 1 blue and 1 yellow to our bank. Oh, okay, so the Legion that I built last turn that was exclusive to me is now common. Other people can copy it. Now let's look back at this. So I gained 1 yellow population to my bank, and I gained 1 blue. What does that mean? It means that it's harder it's easier for me to avoid corruption because there's an extra 1 rattling around in the bank here than that allows me to avoid corruption. It also means it's easier for me to grow my population because I don't have to dig as deep into here. The dog looks like she needs to go outside. We'll have to take a break after this turn. So hold on one moment. Let's see. So we did our politics. We definitely need to grow our population. Maybe twice. Oh, we're in politics. I'm sorry. That's interesting. Get the Skyrim helm there. Now that's not super useful. So yeah, we're going to throw that to the wolves to get us, again, just free stuff plus an event. Oh, another. Oh, I can't bid on this one because I spent all my troops. So yellow got it for relatively cheap. So that was kind of the risk I was taking. Now on my turn I can build up my military again, which is good because red just jumped way up there too. So the colonists sent, they won the colony, and he used his special ability from Isabella to gain it. But now yellow is even weaker than me. So they might be easier for red to go after. Now my turn. Okay, I'm going to grow the population. And let's back up here. Because it looks like I only have 3. But the way this works is I've got 1 resource on this card that was built by this farm. And that resource is worth 2. These 2 are worth 1. So my actual total is 4. So I'm going to grow. Then I'm going to grow again. And the reason I have so many in my yellow bank is because when you sacrifice or lose soldiers, they go back into your yellow bank so you can regrow them again. So now, that's 2 of my population things there. Reserves would be good. I thought that was the one for military buildings. Code of laws. I do always like these blue ones, and we do have a ton of science. Let's grab Code of Laws. Iron is also super tempting. Take it into my hand. Gulp. Let's spend 1 of my remaining things to build warfare. I now don't have enough to build Code of Laws, so that's off the table. I could get Joan of Arc, but I really like what Confucius has been doing for me so far. I could get Rich Land is about upgrading a mine or a farm, but that's not super valuable at the moment. Instead, I'm just going to build a couple more soldiers with my military actions. And then I have 1 more civil action. Yeah, let's get Rich Land to upgrade a farm in the future and make it cheaper. So I've got 2 military actions left. We're going to hit end turn, and we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. All right, we're back. I could bid on this historic territory, which is 6 victory points. That could easily be the margin of victory. The question is, how much do I want to bid for it? Plus, it gives you a permanent happy face. That's also good. How much can I bid? I can bid up to 3. I can bid 1, 2, 3. Let's bid all of it and hope, but I think that somebody's going to outbid us. Really? Nobody else wanted to bid on it. So we got it for 1. Now, when you do win these bids, you can't spend only cards on it, I don't think. Yeah, it won't let you spend only cards. You have to spend at least 1 unit. But that's really cheap to get a colony. I'm guessing Red really wanted to use those military forces this turn. And if they use it against us, we're in trouble. Because we didn't really, we just spent a little bit more of our resources. We only have the infantry tactic. We don't have upgraded infantry at all. Though there's the swordsman coming in. That could be our key. Oh, and we've just entered age 2. Now, in each age, you lose some population from your yellow bank. Means it's harder to feed and harder to keep your people happy as the ages go by. We also lost Confucius, which is too bad, but it's inevitable. And yellow, because the Colosseum was unfinished and it was an Age A wonder, they lose it as well. This is all ancient age stuff. Remember, anything when you enter an age, anything that's 2 ages old basically goes away, except for completed wonders, basically. Or basically any cards that you have not played yet, or incomplete wonders go away. So we're now in the politics phase. I could play rebellion into this deck. 2 civil actions per discontent worker. That's pretty good. An event card in your hand. You know the next event will be scientific breakthrough because I prepared it myself and it's the last card in the deck. It's reminding you what you should have remembered, which is we played this a long time ago, this scientific breakthrough, and it hasn't come out yet. Therefore, that's what's coming, so I know what's going to happen. It's just helping us with the memory thing. That's pretty nice. Each civilization immediately scores the equal science it produces. So that's going to happen. And what is that going to do for everybody else? It looks like I'm going to get +3. Yellow's going to get +4, and red's going to get +5. Ouch. But that's going to happen no matter what. It might as well give me some culture to do it. So I scored more than green, but less than the others. Now, why am I getting +3 science? The Roman roads, because it's age 2 now, so they're producing science instead of resources. That means I'm going to need this iron mine. Because it's going to be hard to build stuff. Everything in the age 2 costs more. So now that we're here, what can we do? We can play the iron mine to get some upgrades, but I think what we want to do is maybe upgrade our farms too. Although we're producing a decent amount of farms. Let's do this. Let's upgrade our thing here to get a free guy. We'll do that, and we'll spend rich land to upgrade our mine. So we're going to upgrade this guy and pay the difference. We're going to pay 3 total resources. Only 2, actually. Or 1 if we use rich land. There we go. So now we've got an extra income from our mines, which will help us. And in fact, we can do that again. That would be very good. But is there anything else in the card row that we really, really want? Masonry. Urban buildings have a reduced cost. That is pretty good. But I think what we actually might want to do is grab that swordsman. Although we're in age 2, we're going to start getting age 2 military units. Is that a mistake? Yeah, let's back up a little bit here. So instead of growing the population, let's get the iron mine. Take the card. Let's get the swordsman, because I'm a little worried about getting attacked here. So let's try and defend ourselves. So we'll build the swordsman. And then we can also increase our population. So we're only 4 defense, but here's what we can do. We can build a swordsman, and we can upgrade our current warriors into a swordsman. And now we're all the way up to 7. So that has helped us quite a bit. And remember, we get an extra +3 if we're defending. And we get to double the strength of one of our units. So that is pretty good. Plus we have this defense card. We're in pretty good shape against enemies who are attacking us. It would be nice if we, you know what, we could take this other tactics card. The other tactics card's gone. We didn't actually use it. So if we had one more military unit, that would give us an extra 2. That would be great, but we can't do it. So we're going to sit on these military actions and end our turn. How are we doing overall, by the way? We have 23 points. The next person has 14. We're doing real well. We're getting more culture per turn than anybody else, but our military is not quite as strong, and we have no leader at the moment. Ooh, we got a new colony that we could potentially... Ooh, the aggression was against yellow instead of against me, probably because I made myself a harder target. Yellow, however, has not focused on developing their military, and they are in trouble. So green gains 2 and 2. Your rival loses 1 population on his or her turn. So good for green, bad for yellow. Now, the other way to defend yourself from aggression is you can sacrifice your military units, which doubles their power for each time you do that. Oh, yellow got beat up again, and they lost a building. I'm glad I'm not in last place, militarily speaking. Yellow, what are you doing over here? What are they doing that's causing them so much grief? Well, they did get 1 colony, which cost them a teeny bit. And they have a really productive empire. Look, they're getting 9 per turn, but they're not spending it on building a military. They have no military cards. They need to buy some military. We've got at least those knights, or not knights, the swordsmen that we've upgraded our military to, so they're twice as strong as our infantry. Okay, so we're back to our turn. We can do the event emigration. Calculate half your discontent workers and round up. On your turn, lose that many population. Is anybody else got discontent workers? This guy doesn't. He's got, wow, his population has exploded. This guy doesn't have any discontented workers, and this guy doesn't. They have enough happy faces for what they've got. Or we can put out developed territory. Now, if we put this in there, we know it's just going to result in somebody else getting it, because we don't have the military at the moment, but maybe we're building up to it. It's a tough call. Definitely a tough call. This one just gives... I mean, nobody would lose population for this. It would just be 2 points for almost certainly nothing happening. But maybe they'll get discontent workers in the next 6 turns. Let's put the territory out there, and we'll try to build up our military to grab it. Oh, an inhabited territory appears. Our max is 5 if we spent everything. So that grows our population once and gives us 2 yellow in the bank. That is quite good. It makes it much easier and cheaper to grow our population and have more buildings, more military. But I'm afraid if I bid that much on this, I cannot recover it this turn. So let's bid 3. That would be one of these guys and 1 card. I think somebody's going to outbid me, but I'll definitely benefit from it if it's at 3. No, see, somebody else bids 7. Or more than 7 at least. So red had to sacrifice a knight, a card, and an infantry unit. So red got a lot less powerful because they probably no longer, they don't have their tactic. Or their tactic they do have their tactic, but it's not enough. Okay, so back to our turn. What we definitely want to consider is upgrading the iron. Oh, because I'm looking at the wrong thing. We have iron here. There we go. And rich land will let us upgrade the mine for cheap. And we will not use the pact. We'll just pay that. So now we're producing 4 and 3. What else could we consider? We could consider grabbing St. Peter's Basilica, but it will cost us all 3 of our resources. Each other card or worker that gives you at least 1 happy face now gives you an extra happy face. Damn! That's quite good. Oof. That's hard to say no to. Because it comes with a happy face already. And it would mean, I believe, did the castle give me a happy face? No. My only happy face comes from my religion and my Roman roads? Where's my... Oh, this guy here? No. I have 2 happy faces. Whoa, the colony gives me a happy face. That's right. So if I finish St. Peter's Basilica, I would go to 5 happy faces. And it wouldn't even cost me any extra dudes. That's very efficient. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. And I don't have to worry about corruption because I have spent enough in the past. I am now going to end my turn and get 4 military cards from which to pick. Next turn we'll put out that Code of Laws. All players gain a little bit of that. Yeah, that's the one I put in there. Ooh, he got the Republic government. That's the level 2 government. That's pretty good. There's my rebellion. Unfortunately, it has no effect. All it did was give me a point when I played it. So I'm going to make it a priority to get my economy a little bit stronger next turn, and to build at least 1 stage of my wonder. Ooh, what was that wonder he just tried to build there? The Transcontinental Railroad. Good times. All right, so on my turn, I could do this emigration thing again, potentially. International negotiations. The civilizations revealing this event chooses 3 food, 3 resources, or 3 science, and the strongest takes that from the weakest. Well, I could be the strongest when this is resolved, but I'm almost certainly not going to be the weakest. So let's do it. There's another science for everybody, including myself. Code of Laws is easy. It's going to cost me a little bit of science, but it means I get an extra civil action for the rest of the game. And it may seem like that's not that much, but it lets you grab good stuff deeper in this section without having to slow your turn down. Or just do more things on your turn, like upgrade guys or what have you. Which is, I think, what I want to do now. I think I want to upgrade this guy. And how much food? I have enough to get 2 of those guys. So let's pay 3 without the pact. Then I'm going to upgrade this guy. And I'm going to pay 2 without the pact. So now I'm getting 5 and 4. So I've increased my economy pretty nicely. And I can even build 1 stage of this wonder, because the first stage only costs 1. And I'm going to do it without using the pact. And then the last 2 things I'm going to do is, I think, grow my people twice. Yeah, it means I'm not getting any... No, I'll do it once, because I'm already good there. Oh, even better. I'm not in corruption zone. I can let this stack up. I can grow my population next turn. What I can do is get Catherine the Great, which gives me 2 victory points a turn, people. Once per game as a political action, you may cause each player with a lower strength rating to lose 1 yellow token. Russia is expanding. If at least 2 tokens are lost, you gain a yellow token. Fantastic! Fantastic ability. I'm going to put her as my leader right now. It gives me an extra military action, and it gives me the ability to do that. It gives me the extra income. 5 victory points a turn. That's probably better than anybody else. Now we're doing... Oh, no, red is catching up. Where is red getting their points from? 6 from temples. They upgraded their temple to theology, so that's giving them 2 points. Why 6? Let's go back there. Including 4 because of Michelangelo. He increases... Oh, his happy faces get culture. That's what it is. So once Michelangelo goes away, then he'll stop getting all this bonus happiness, which will be many turns from now. So unfortunately, I can't... I could adopt a tactic right now that benefits Yellow's current tactic. It's exclusive. I can't adopt it. I would like to spend a guy here, but we had to take Catherine while she was available. Now I have to downgrade my military. Let's get rid of one of these older tactics. The good news is we still have 4, 5, 6, and maybe even like 7, 8. Oh, there's another 4. So we are good on defense. Each civilization with more than 4 loses. Oh no! I only lost 1, actually. Yellow lost a lot. The Dark Ages came and went. I'm going to go let the dog in, so I will be back once. Apologies, I'm back. So here's an interesting take on this. We had the aggression. Red was aggressing with 8, and yellow had to get 5. Now you're allowed to use military cards that aren't these bonus cards face down for 1 defense, and that's what they did. They did 4 plus 1 plus 3 equals 8, so they blocked it. I haven't gotten any, just by the luck of the draw, I haven't gotten any aggression cards yet. Any of these could be. And it's given me this Catherine's expansion thing. I want to grow my military so I can use that and do some really cool stuff. So that's what we're going to focus on. We have lots of food. We can grow a lot of people and build a lot of armies. Prosperity. Ooh, when we finish that, we're going to get a lot of that. Oh, that's pretty good. Huh. Refugees. The strongest civilization scores 3 culture on their turn, gains 1 population. That's good too. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to try to become the strongest here. And I'm just going to do it with brute force infantry, I think. So on my turn, I want to finish St. Peter's Basilica because it'll allow me to grow my population larger. But I can't do it yet because I don't have the reserves here. I'm kind of also thinking I should grab Constitutional Monarchy because it'll give me an extra civil action compared to what I've got here. But to be honest, that's not really valuable at the moment. It would actually give me an extra 1 of each. But I have extra military actions because of this guy and because of the Hegemony Castle. Is that what I or Catherine? And I've got an extra civil action thanks to the Code of Laws. So I think this is not as valuable as it otherwise would be. Republic is kind of cool too, but revolutionary idea. Score 4 science. No. I don't think I need to take anything off of this here. And I can't take any age 2 leader because I already have one. So let's just spend this entire turn focusing on improving. Ah, yes, we have just enough happiness to do this. Oh, actually, we might want to, because we only have so much. We only have 5. And growing our military costs 3. That's too bad. Okay, so let's do this. And, ooh, I can pay 1 and 2. That might be perfect. And then I think I've got 3 resources, so I can upgrade this to increase my income. Good, good. And then I have an extra guy for later, so I've jumped my military strength up to 11, which is great. It's not quite enough for Catherine's expansion. I want to get all of them, but 2 would be good enough. As long as red doesn't gain any military this turn, then it might be enough for me. So I don't have any resources. I can't grow this. What am I going to do with these other 3 actions? I guess I got to consider taking, like, the cannons. Or coal. Coal is actually pretty good and pretty valuable. So is organized religion, but I'm about to get a whole bunch of happy faces. So I don't need organized religion. Frugality helps me increase my population. Let's take that for 2, and we'll take coal for 1. Because later I'm going to wish I had coal. Because stuff, like I said, gets very expensive. And you don't want to have, like, 6 regular bronze things when you could instead have 3 iron or 2 coal. It just is much more efficient to grow that way. Hello, old dude. This game was, the board game was released, gotta be 2007, 2008, maybe? Because I got the 3rd edition probably around, or the 3rd printing, 3rd edition, probably around 2012-ish, or 2011. So I think it was somewhere around 2007, 2008. And then the digital version here, this came out about a year ago, give or take. Okay, so I've used all my civil actions. I can't use any military actions unless I wanted to change my tactics, and right now, I don't, because my tactic Legion that I'm using right now is perfect for the 3 swordsmen that I have. So I think I'm just going to end my turn, and I'll have to discard 1 or 2 of these. Probably this old tactic is not very good. And what was this one here? Calculate. Yeah, that's not going to hurt anybody enough, so we're going to get rid of that. And hopefully I'll draw some aggression cards this time. It would be great if I could. Ooh, I got a war. Wars are pretty good, too. If red does not increase, I'm going to use that Catherine expansion thing to take their stuff. Let's see what red does. Ooh, red's got a level 3 unit there. What is that? Rifleman or something? Oh, they did increase, so I can use Catherine's expansion, the one-time ability. Yellow and red lose a yellow token, and I gain a yellow token. I could wait on this and do something else. War over territory lets me steal a yellow token plus 1 for every 5 points of strength advantage. So, again, I could beat up on yellow. But I think Catherine's expansion is just a little more efficient because it's guaranteed. War over territory. War is different from aggression. A war, neither player can use, like the defender can't use these defense cards in a war. And the attacker could potentially lose in a war. Wars aren't resolved instantly. They're declared, and then at the beginning of my next turn, meaning we both have 1 turn to build up our forces, then we determine who won the war, and the difference in our strength is how you determine what the result of the war is. So I'm not going to do the war because Catherine's expansion can't backfire, and it does almost the same thing as that war. I gain a yellow, and they each lose 1. So I didn't hit green hard, but it's going to be real hard to hit them. Now, we want this because it gives us extra happy faces and a lot of extra culture. So we're going to build the middle stage of the wonder, which costs a lot, right? So you're building the giant basilica part here. But we're going to do it. It uses up all of our resources for the turn. And that does suck, no doubt. But it's still something that had to be done. And then we could grow our population, but we don't need to. So let's see what we want to do with these 5. I could grab this, take it into my hand. I could then immediately build it, which is actually not bad because it'll give me the ability to utilize it. Now, I've spent all my resources, which does kind of suck because I would have loved to build up my military even more. But now, what does that symbol mean? Oh, she can't use the effect anymore. She already used her effect, I think. Yeah, I want the stronger military from this, which is, by the way, free. It doesn't cost me any resources or military units. Frugality lets me grow my population and then gain 3 food. That's great, too. Revolutionary idea gives me extra science. I also like that because I'm a little behind in my science if I want to get this coal out in the future. Now, what else could I do? Opera, that's not a bad thing. 3 per turn on culture? Get out of town. But cannons. I want to be strong in the military department. There aren't any tactics that use cannons here, but there are tactics that use cavalry. Ugh. Maybe instead of grabbing revolutionary idea, I grab the cavalry, right? And then I also grab the opera. That's a good use. If I had any resources left over, I'd definitely use one of these military things to do this, but I don't have the resources left. Next turn I can expand my military because this is super cheap to finish next turn. Let's see. What do we want to get rid of? We want to keep the tactic. We determined that that was pretty good. This one, not so good because it's age 1, so it's not as valuable as the other ones that we have here. And then, prosperity, that's going to be good for us. Arms industry, infantry, cavalry, and artillery technology has been developed. Each civilization gets 2 production for each technology type in which it is in the best or tied for the best. That could be beneficial to us, but I think we wouldn't necessarily win that without a lot of help. Autonomous territory. You gain civil and military actions, but you lose 2 from your blue bank. Whew. That's a difficult one. Let's get rid of arms industry. Oh, I have to even drop another one after that. Ugh. Prosperity one. You can never have too many pieces of artillery. I got the cavalry instead, though. All right, strategic territory gives you 3 military cards immediately, plus a permanent 2 bonus to your military. That I would like. What are we willing to bid for it, though? We could bid. Whatever we bid, we can add. We get to add 3 to whatever our bid is, thanks to this right here. This navigation automatically adds 3 to our bid. So we're going to be easier, more easier. So let's see. If we bid just 1 guy plus 2 cards, we're at 9. That's damn good. Do we want to sacrifice anybody else? No, I think that's where we want to stop. Let's bid 9 and see if anybody beats us. Nope. So because the next highest bid was 4, it's like eBay style. So I don't actually have to pay 9. 9 is simply the most I was willing to pay. But because 4 was the one, I bid 5 and I beat them because it's 1 round around the table essentially, right? So now I just have to bid 5. So I can bid the 1. I have to bid the 1 if you recall. And I don't even have to spend the cards. I don't even have to spend the cards because I get the plus 3. So that's it. Colonized. We got a whole bunch of cards, and we also gained the 2 strength by default. Wow, yellow has so many civil actions. That's insane. Very few military actions. We tried an aggression against them and they failed again. I might try an aggression against yellow if I have the cards. Let me see, did I pick up any aggression cards? The war is also on the table. We still didn't get any aggression cards. We got a new war. Oh, 2 wars over territory. I think I'll just do a war over territory against yellow. They're not building up their military. Everybody else is getting rich and fat by attacking yellow. Why not me? I say. Why not me? Yellow's even got unhappy dudes. So every 5 points of strength advantage, I take 1 yellow token by default from them if I win, and 1 extra yellow token for every 5 points of strength advantage from the defeated civilization's yellow bank. So that makes our population much faster and easier to grow, and it makes it harder for them. So a war has been declared against yellow. So we need to get our military up to snuff. Now, one of the things we can do here is, if you remember, we just picked up this cavalry card, and if we build 2 cavalry plus an infantry, that gives us a +5 for conquistadors. So let's consider that this turn since we're going to war. And it's real easy. We've got the idle workers right here. It's going to cost 5 of our 6, but that's okay. We've got 10. Yeah, let's pay 1 still using those cool trade routes. since we have the extra food. All right, so our military just shot up to 14. Next, we're going to finish St. Peter's Basilica, so we start generating those victory points and the happiness. And watch how our happiness blooms. Boom! So much happiness. We're going to use frugality to grow our population. And then we can grow it again and again and again. Journalism. That is a pretty good thing to consider because it's quite stronger than our labs. Now, the next level, the second tier lab, we never got an Age 1 lab, but the Age 2 lab is also right here on the board, the scientific method. But honestly, because we're getting the extra science from the Roman roads, I'm happy to get journalism instead and actually start putting some people on it. Right now, we can get those guys off the labs, get them on journalism, and it'll like almost double our income on science. Unfortunately, now we definitely need a lot of science. So the journalism's going out in 2 turns when we get the more science. Meanwhile, we've got 2 extra military actions and 2 extra civil actions to spend here. Military, we're going to use to adopt this and boost our, because we're getting this, boom. Oh, we needed 2 horses. Damn it. Well, let's take that back then. I was just thinking, so we could get this one, which would actually do what we, oh no, this is the one we want, right? 2 guys and a horse. Okay, we'll copy this tactic. And now we just jumped up to 17. Show us what you got, Yellow. Come on. All right. Now we got 2 more things. We get strategy. However, strategy has this fist symbol, and if we were to get it and build it, it would overwrite our warfare. You can only have 1 of these blue things with the symbol at the time, so we wouldn't add 2 extra military actions and 3 extra strength. It would overwrite it, so we're really only getting 1 military action and 2 extra strength. Probably not worth it, especially because we already have a lot of stuff that costs science. We need to use that. So let's get urban growth and reserves as our last 2 actions and then end our turn. And then, geez, we got to discard stuff, don't we? We don't have the artillery. We might get it. But I think we're kind of wedged into using this very strong cavalry. So I think we're going to mark that card to be discarded. And then we're going to look at the other possibilities here. The wealthy territory gives you a ton of blue bank. We already have a ton of yellow bank. This would be a good one to play in the future, potentially. Economic progress, evaluate corruption. That's kind of boring. Let's get rid of that one. Let's see. Terrorism, the civilization with the least culture points, destroy 1 urban building of each other civilization? Hell no! I think I'm doing okay on culture. Let's take a look. I haven't checked it. 50, 43, 45, 43. Yeah, I don't want people using that terrorism against me. Screw that. The autonomous territory I wasn't real happy with. I liked the other ones there. And wow, I'm still got so many military cards because I won that other territory, right? A wealthy territory I want to keep. This one I've already marked to get rid of it. Politics of strength. The strongest civilization draws 5 military cards. And the weakest civilization does not draw military cards. Huh. We do want to keep this in the wing, so I think we have to get rid of the politics of strength. Okay, so now we're down to our limit here. Can you do propaganda with journalism? How timely. Ooh, a developed territory. Science, it gives us science. You know, I need that science, but the war has been declared. I can't sacrifice any dudes. Or can I? I can sacrifice 1 dude. Because, oh no, I got the tactic that requires all of them. Oh, I gotta pass. I gotta pass. I want that war. He only had to discard the 1 knight. Let's see what yellow does. Oh, yellow's actually had their turn, or no, we just declared the war. So at the beginning of my turn is when the war comes back up. Let's see what yellow does about this war if they build. They built the cavalry. Ooh, they got up to 9. So I'm only going to take 2 from them. I'm still going to win the war. And we hit age 3. They're the last age of the game. All civilizations lose 2 from their yellow banks, and yellow's about to lose some more. Bwahaha. The trade routes agreement expires, so we no longer get to benefit from that. Another pact has been proposed, a military protection. Yellow produces an extra culture, and red has +4 strength and produces 1 less. Hang on a second. Red says, hey, yellow, can you protect me? Even though red is much stronger. I guess yellow is just declared, that they will join the war on defense if red is attacked. And that's why red has the extra strength. But red is giving them some cultural points for it as a result, because they're admitting they're weaker. That's okay, yellow. We're about to win this war, and you're going to lose some yellow bank. Oh boy, red's taking a long time to think about this here. Now, one of the cool things about this game is you can play asynchronous multiplayer, and it works with your phone and on Steam. So, unfortunately, you'd have to buy the game in both places. All right, so the victor takes 1 yellow token plus 1 yellow token per blah, blah, blah. So now I can choose how many of my units to sacrifice to this war, right? Every unit I choose to sacrifice gives me an extra, it doubles its strength. Right now I've got 17. If I sacrifice one of these infantry dudes, shouldn't I get more? I don't know how this interface... Oh, here we go. Okay. 17 is how much I have to spend. This is how much I'm actually doing up here. So if I do that, it gives me up to 19. Yellow can do the same thing with their forces, but let's take a look at them real quick. The most they can get is they can sacrifice 2 cavalrymen for 6 and 2 warriors for 2. So they can add 8 to their total. So all I need to do is be 8 higher than them to win, because they can't use those defense cards in a war. So I think sacrificing the 1 infantry will put me at 19, and that will give me enough to win. If they sacrifice nothing, I take 2. If they sacrifice enough to block a total victory, then I'll only get 1 yellow bank, but it's worth it. Oh man, they sacrificed nothing! So they lost 3 yellow bank. Oh my god! I don't even need these farms. This is insane. Like, who will even need to get the final level of farming technology? Not me. I won't need it. All right, so now I can put a wealthy territory into here. Chooses 3 food. Oh no, because I sacrificed the guy. Red is going to take advantage of this, but red is going to take it from yellow. What does red need? I want to try to... give them something they don't need. They need technology. They need food. They don't need production. So I'm gonna let them have the production, I think. Because red is, I think, my closest contender. Green is actually my closest contender. So red and yellow duking it out is to my advantage. All right, now it's my turn. We are getting 9 per turn, which is great. We can't put that journalism out yet. We got to wait 1 more turn to get the stuff for that. And saving up some resources to build those buildings once they're created is not a bad idea. We were thinking about getting that cannon, weren't we? We already have swordsmen. We could upgrade to riflemen and stick with this whole scheme. Huh. That might be better than trying to get a brand new tactic and wrestle it in. So that's 5. Is this also 5? No, that's only 3. Okay. Justice system. We don't have this one, do we? Do we have one of those? Yeah, we have Code of Laws. So I don't think that one is yeah. Selective breeding. We don't need that. Okay. Here's what it comes down to. I don't have a lot of science. Buying any of these science things, not gonna be super valuable. So let's spend reserves to think about doing stuff here. Let's gain 3 that we can use to build military units, right? Then we're gonna grow. And this one, we want 2 horses and 1 army. So let's do that right now. Boom, 2 horses. We'll take this tactic, boom, put it into play. Now we're at 20. Urban growth will let us grow and build a thing. I would love for... I'm going to use it with journalism. We've got 3 left. Efficient upgrade lets me build a farm, mine, or urban building and pay less. Okay, let's take that. And breakthrough for science. For science. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect turn. I don't think I've ever had such a perfect turn ever. I could actually grow it even bigger. I can get even more of these guys. Now I'm even stronger. Now I'm matching red. Now what, sucker? That probably wasn't worth what I was saying. All right, done. Next turn, we might launch this war over territory against green, because as we recall, they are my closest rival in terms of points. Each civilization scores culture equal to its science rating. I suck at science. God, I won 2 turns away from making my science super great, but they're just like, no, this is the turn to do it. How high tech-wise does the game go? Age 3 is where we're at. It's basically modern times. You can see there's air forces and satellites, so that's where we're at. At the beginning of Age 4, the game is over. We do a couple of checks. So crime wave. Each of the 2 weakest civilizations lose 3 culture and 1 blue token. Suck it, green and yellow. We got strong anti-crime technology over here. Red's taking its time here. Oh, he's got computers. Look at that. It's 5 science per turn. All right, so my Conquistadors is now available. Guess what, everybody? It's 1900, and we just figured out how to make Conquistadors. They work really well. I'll tell you about it. International tourism. Each civilization produces an extra culture for every completed wonder owned by the other civilization. Who's furthest behind? I could do that with red. They might accept. I would get 2, and they would get 3. But they're so far behind me on culture production. They'll have to accept it, right? I'm going to try. Or I could do a war over culture with green. Let's save that and do that in the near future. Let's do this international tourism thing. Let's consider it with red. Red accepted. Okay. So even though red gets a slightly better benefit here, I'm now getting plus 11. He's getting plus 5. So the important thing is I'm getting a higher advantage over green, which just keeps catching up to me somehow. All right. Oh no, my science went down from going into the next age. That's awful. Now I can't play journalism this turn. Oh no. Everything's gone. Everything's gone. I just have to build a giant military and use it to do a war over culture. I think that's the only option I have right now. I can't even, look, these cards are going to be used to build this, and this can't be used until I build this. It's a disaster. I can't take any more cards off the row because I got this hand of garbage, because and because the Roman roads were giving me the extra light bulb, and then we changed the age before it came back around. Oh boy. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Pay 3 less for an upgrade building. Okay, urban growth. We're going to use that to build another lab. We're going to have to probably destroy it later. But since it costs 0, who cares, right? Who cares? Now, who's this leader? This is one of the new expansion leaders. Marlene Dietrich. Each of your best theaters produces an extra culture and 1 extra happy face. Don't have any theaters. And then one of your infantry, cavalry, or artillery units counts twice for the purposes of tactics. That's kind of cool. But I think multimedia is a library, actually. Professional sports is a theater? Yeah, nope, that's not theater either. Theater's got the little happy things. Okay. No. That's an arena technology. This is a library technology. We don't need a library technology because we got journalism, and we can barely pay for that as it is. So, whatever. So now, let's do 1 and 2 and 3. And we've got enough happy faces. We don't care. Now we can use this with our 6 resources, we can't quite get enough. So we can do this, but we can't get the last guy to have our tactics trigger a second time and getting extra 5. But we are keeping close parity with red. Mechanized agriculture we don't need. Democracy, can't use because we still don't have the science. We fell way behind in the science when we lost Confucius. I do kind of need Tesla. Marie Curie, your best mind produces science equal to its level. Why didn't you say so? Your best lab gives you strength equal to its level. She also produces culture equal to the better of these two. What? What? Why didn't I see this before? Let's do it. All right, then we'll stop here. Save our military points. Right now, though, we could use another mine. Next time, I'm definitely building another mine as the first thing, because I don't feel like we have enough production. That oil, we could use that oil up there. But again, we can't. We just can't. We don't have the science in it. The hour is growing late. So the strongest civilization scores 3. Ugh, again, that's not us. I was trying for it, but the red guys keep beating me. I just gave him some points. We still got that plus 11. The Roman road's giving us plus 2 a turn. That's really kicking in. A pact between yellow and green. Both civilizations add plus 3 to their strength. Oh, those bastards! Huh! Military alliance. They're worried about me and red. Maybe me and red will make a military alliance. Okay? Ooh! A war. Oh, aggression. Armed intervention. So green... No, red attacked green, and green lost... couldn't stop the attack, so they had to pay 6 culture to red. Red is now on my damn heels. But I'm going to do a war over culture against green, probably, and try to build my military up even more this turn. There's Steve Jobs. Your best lab gives you happy faces equal to its level. Whenever you develop a technology, you may pay 1 a score, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he grabbed him. Steve Jobs is now the person we're fighting against. Okay. The other thing to know here, by the way, what is that? Oh, it's an aggression. This is literally the first aggression card we have found. Ever. Ever. What is that? What is that? Huh? It's crazy. Also, here's an interesting thing. We know green is weak, because red just attacked them and took 7 culture from them, 7 victory points. So instead of that war, I kind of think this aggression is an automatic easy choice. It won't require us to build up this turn. I can build up my industry instead and get my leader and my other things that I have to do this turn. So we're going to do the armed aggression against green, because even if they are able to defend themselves against it, they're probably going to have to damage themselves to do it. We are 7 ahead of them. Actually, they did draw some... they've got a lot of military cards. Let's try it. It worked against him last turn. And I can do the same thing. I can sacrifice something in order to boost my number so that they have to respond. Let's try boosting it up to 28. That's what red is at. It was successful. I think that was a worthy sacrifice. We gained 7 victory points and green lost it. And green was my closest rival until recently when reds took their points. So that was a very useful turn. So now we're on to our actual turn. Let's get our military to where we want it to be before we go any further. We do that, and we're out of shit. Damn it. Efficient upgrade. We can do this, and then we can also upgrade it for 0. So that's good. So now we're actually getting 8 per turn instead of 6, which is going to help us a lot. But we definitely need journalism out there. Develop it in score using a breakthrough. We can also put our leader out. And what does this lead? So our Catherine is giving us, what is she giving us? She's giving us the 2 per turn plus that military. Our best mine produces extra science equal to its level. You know what? Take it back. We don't need the journalism thing anymore because of her, right? Watch this. Oh, our best mind is only level 1. and adding her would actually lower. So she was a bad pick. Huh. I'm sorry. I thought that was going to be a much better pick. Oh, but when we get coal, it will be a better pick. So let's back up. I didn't see we had coal. Okay. Back to the start here. Let's get coal. Develop it with the breakthrough. So we got some free science. And now we can use efficient upgrade to upgrade a mine for free. And now if we play her, I think our puppy's happy because I think mom's home. So, her mom, though, my wife. Best mind produces science equal to its level. Let's see what happens. This stays the same, and we just get more science, right? That's what just happened. Yes, we get +2 extra science. So we don't need journalism in the end. It might still be valuable, but the opera is probably going to be more valuable in the future. And I think what we're going to do here is, if we have the resources, yeah, let's upgrade this further, because as you can see, we're running low on resources. We have the people, we're running low on the resources. Let's get one more dude for military power. There we go. We've now hooked into the military power. Hey, look, a button called military buildup. Let's take this. For civilization stronger than yours, you have an extra 3. Well, that's probably only going to be 1, but let's take it anyway. I like getting that. And urban growth gets us the ability to build more operas on the future turn. Right? Right. Oh! Whoa! Okay. We've got 3. We've got 1. If we play this tactic, it'll increase us by 1. But that's only because these guys are so old. It would increase us by a lot more if we had modern infantry. Hey, look, there it is. Good time. Okay. War over territory is not going to be as valuable, but this is going to be even less valuable. So let's save the war over territory in case we might want to use it. Knowledge of the Ancients. Each civilization scores 1 science for each completed wonder and gains 1 resource if it had a wonder under construction. Double these rewards for Age A wonders. Look at that. We got 4 science just when we needed it. We have all kinds of stuff we could use our science with. Look at Einstein over here. Picking stuff up. Mechanized agriculture. Ravages of time. All civilizations choose one of your completed wonders from Age A to crumble. It loses its effects and produces 2 culture instead. Huh. Well, that's kind of okay. Depends on how much we care about those effects. Although I think the Roman roads effect is generate 2 culture a turn right now. So I could just choose that one and have nothing happen. On your turn, you may move one of your workers from one of your cards to another. If the new unit or building has a higher cost, you may pay the difference. Okay. Red's thinking. The internet is there. These Age 3 wonders, by the way, are just strictly for giving you points. They all give you culture in big numbers for various things. Like, let's see, Hollywood. You immediately score culture equal to twice the current culture produced by your best blah blah blahs, whatever that was. Give me 10 minutes. All right. Back to me. Do we do the war over culture? Jesus Christ, Red! 15 from 5 military units, but he's got the Air Force and the classical army tactic. I think the Air Forces, like, add 5, but there's something special about them, and I can't remember what it is. I think it automatically makes your tactic go 1 more time. So that, yeah, 5 and 8, I think, might be why it's getting that. Air Forces and the classical army tactic. I still don't know why he gets to 16. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how the Air Force works. Oh, the Air Force is counting. Okay. So the 5 is counting in his 15, right? So he's got 2, 4, 10, 15. And yes, if you have an Air Force, it counts your tactic twice. That's how that works. So instead of just classical army being 8, it's worth 16. So Air Forces can be pretty awesome. All right, back to my turn. If I declare a war, some kind of a thumb war, I'll be able to build my modern infantry, upgrade those guys, which will drastically increase my output, and war over culture. It's a thing. And yellow is the weakest, so I could stand to gain the most from them. They could do at most +6 to +9 defense, I guess, is what that's trying to say. We're going to try it. It's a little bit risky, but we're going to do it. War declared. All right. Let's do the military stuff, because we did just declare a war before we do this other stuff. Modern infantry. Why can't I play this? Oh, I'm triggering this thing first. On your turn, choose one of your completed wonders from Age A to crumble. So let's take a look. This is giving me +1 yellow, +1 blue. This one's giving me culture and military. This one's giving me culture and happiness and doing all the other things. I think I have to lose the yellow and the blue. It kind of sucks, but that's all that there is to it. On my turn, I can move one of my workers from one card to another. This is actually going to be great because I can take it from something I don't need it in and give it to... So let's take it from, say, the religion, which we don't need, or from philosophy. We don't need philosophy because we're going to try to get journalism or something anyway. The opera is actually better than the religion. So let's take it from the religion, and we can move it to... cavalrymen or swordsmen. Let's move it to cavalry, because that's just more expensive. It was real good, though. We're at 30 now. Okay, now we can play the modern infantry. And now, the pièce de résistance. We have enough. We have just enough. Look at that. We jumped up to 40. Because now, we have 1 completed shock troops from modern infantry plus 3 cavalry. And that gives us 11. 11 from our tactic. We don't have air forces, though. And that's sad times. We don't have any more mines, so we can't do anything with that. We could use military buildup to build another something over here. We could use it to build another swordsman. So let's do that. Military buildup to build an extra swordsman. Oh. I thought I read that we get an extra 3 from that. Is that not? Yeah. To gain 3 for units. Oh, I need military actions to do it, and I use all my military actions on cool stuff. Okay, so we don't want to use military buildup this turn, unfortunately. Urban growth. I can't build anything else. Ugh, I gotta take cards. Revolutionary idea could be useful based on what we got in our hands over here. Movies actually is just straight up better than opera. We don't have the tech. So next turn we will, technically. But I think reserves might be more valuable. And screw it, I guess we could take movies too? No, we can't because we've filled up our hand. Yeah, I think we're unfortunately done. But we've got 40 now against... We're at this war against yellow. I know I have civil actions left. Unfortunately, I don't have resources to do anything with. That's why I wanted that oil built and try to get some more guys up there. Ooh, a wealthy territory. I gotta pass. I mean, okay. If I did this, I'd only lose 2, because this isn't counting towards a tactic. And then I could do this, and 9 could be my bid. Because I think I'd just go down to 38. And I'll still win the war. And the wealthy territory could be very valuable. Ooh, I won it. I won it for 1. Nobody else even bid. All right, that was easy. All right. So yeah, I go down to 38 in the end, which is great. It's still good. Yellow can't get up there, probably. Let's find out. And we have only 19 cards left before the game will be winding down. What is green doing? They're destroying all their buildings. They're actually producing really good high-tech stuff is actually what was going on there. You can see they've got oil. War has been declared, red on green. Also a war over culture. Red and I, the military powerhouses here, attacking different targets. Kind of wouldn't mind getting another wonder and building that, but I'm invested in these wars. All right, so here's the war over culture. How much do I want to sacrifice to win this? I don't think I want to sacrifice anything. I want to force them... Oh, they've gone up to 35. Victor takes 5 plus equal to the strength advantage from the defeated civilization. So here's what I could do. Boom, boom, and boom means I'm 43 to their 35. Oh, you can only sacrifice 1 thing? Oh, I thought you could sacrifice lots of stuff. Let's sacrifice just that and get up to 43. So the war outcome is 43 to their 35, and I gained 13 victory points. So let's take a quick look. I'm at 131. The closest opponent is 95. But there's a ton of victory points that come in at endgame scoring, because events for age 3 that we haven't actually seen any of, just due to the luck of the draw. Plus, I've been using a lot of my military action, so I haven't been drawing military cards. But events for age 3 go into the deck, and they all get resolved before the end of the game, no matter what. And they'll say, like, the effect of happiness, and for every happy face, you get 2 culture, like everybody, right? And then effect of military, and everybody gets bonus culture based on how big and strong the military is. So that is something you have to consider. So what did we have? We have coal. We never even got oil. We just got to coal. But that's okay. So we're at politics. Do we want to do another war? I think we're actually going to skip it. We got to build up our military again. We're down to 22, and I'm not really feeling confident about a war right now. So the first thing is we rebuild this. We'll jump way back up there, right? Oh, and let's use military buildup to do that, right? Because this will save us some money. We got 9. Hang on. Whoa, we made this card way better. Play it to gain 9 because it's for every people stronger than me. Because we won that war and sacrificed our dude, we got a lot of free money. So 7 of that 9, boom, is just boom, spent right there. We got so many resources to spend on things. We could build the internet. Equal to the culture and science produced by your urban buildings plus any strength bonuses they provide. Which is actually only 3. It would give me not that much. What about United Nations? How much would that give? It would give 16 to me. 4 for each wonder, each special blue technology or type of urban building. So if I can finish this by the end of the game, it's worth a lot. But it would only leave me with 1 action. And it would mean I could do this and get up to 43. That's pretty good. I think that's what we want to do. So we used a lot of our civil actions to get this, and we just need to finish it by the end of the game. It's only 16. We've got 12 in reserve right now, so we're really good. We're really good. Let's hope we can get one of those level 3 events so we get some choice over what's going on here. Impact of balance. Let's take a look at that, if I can. Can I just not look at what the... Okay, iconoclasm. With a leader that is not from the current age, must remove it from play. Oh, no, I think we're going to lose her, because she's from... Oh, She's from age 3, so we're good. Bark, bark. Watch out. So, impact, each civilization scores 2 culture for every content worker above 10. So we had quite a few workers, but it looks like yellow made out big here. They gained +6 against everybody else. I told you extra happiness could really help you in the end. Oh, here we are. The final, not quite the final turn, it looks like. So red gained a bunch of victory points. So red is going to finish its turn, and then we're going to have one more turn. Everybody gets one more turn to do as much as they possibly can. Ooh, gaining this would not really help unless there was something to do. I'm just going to pass. I don't think you can declare any aggressions or wars in the final turn, but I'm not sure. I think I got to finish the United Nations. That's what I have to do to get those points. So, could I do an aggression? Yeah. Who could I do it against? Yellow. Could also do it against green. Which one of them is furthest? Let's do it against green. If it doesn't work, I mean, aggressions are just like they help you or they do nothing. I'm not going to send anybody, so let's see what green sacrifices. They were able to block it and defend. So, that's too bad. But it was worth a shot. So this probably could have been good for me too, but that's fine. So now, with that out of the way, reserves gives me extra food, which I can use to grow this, and oh no. Oh, my technologies are gone. Can we take philosophy back and put it over here? Build it using urban growth for free. And then, oh, I only, none of that is good. Okay, back up. Let's do this. I'm going to take this off of philosophy for 1, put it into religion to give us a happiness. We've even got the urban growth to do it. Then take this off of philosophy again and put it into military. Jump up to 57 because we built a second version of our tactic, shock troops. And then finish our wonder. Oh, we don't have enough. Wait, yes we do. We can do reserves to gain 4 and complete the wonder, giving us 4 for each wonder, each blue technology, or type of urban building developed. There it is. Look at that. Oh, what is the number 3 next to my icon? I'm sorry, old dude. I didn't look here. Hey, Jimmix. It's actually not a corgi. It is a Samoyed. That's the dog that's in the background there. You may reveal an age 3 event from your hand and evaluate it immediately, then return it to your hand. Sure. I looked at it and it looked like that was actually the worst thing to do. I thought it was better before, but it looks like something's changed. So I've just lowered my score by 2 points against green and red and by a whopping 8 points against yellow. So I hope that doesn't cost me the game, because that was not worth it. But the 3 up here is actually, it's got a little boat there. It's this right here. Every colonization action, I get to add 3 to my action for free. To my cost. Okay, so that is the best I can do. I'm going to gain another 11 this turn, and I have to hope that that's enough. Because there are still a bunch of things in here, like impact of balance, impact of happiness, impact of colonies, or whatever, that might have an impact. I'm going to keep my military real big, because maybe impact of military and having the most strength will matter. So I'm going to pass. Yellow wins the colony. And I already have a lot of colonies. So if like impact of colonization pops up, ooh, impact of technology, ooh, Jesus Christ, green jumping and yellow too. I did not have a lot of level 3 techs, but they did. Holy moly. They had 8 level 3 techs. Oh, six level 3 techs. I can't do math. All right, so this is Red's last turn. Can they use it to catch up? Impact of strength. That's where I was going to win it. 15, 10, 5, and I got the impact of strength. So I get the extra plus 10 over green, plus 15 over yellow, and plus 5 over red. That was really helpful. That's why I kept that around. I was hoping to see the impact of strength. Score 1 for every... Oh, see, he finished a wonder that got him a bunch of points. Final events. Impact of variety. 2 for each type of unit, each type of urban building, and each special technology. So I did okay there against yellow. I lost against red, and I lost pretty big against green. I'm still... Oh, God, I'm only up on red by 2. Is there anything else? Oh, I gained 15. Yes, I gained a little bit of breathing room against him because I got my wonders. Is there any more? Impact of government. Oh, no, he's caught up. He's behind me by 1. Oh, no. Oh, say there's no more. Oh. Based on the relative amount of culture they produce. We beat red on that. We beat him. We got a little breathing room. Is there another? Oh, he caught up again. He's now down by 2. Oh, God, there's 1 card left. I can't even... Oh, no! For each level of its urban buildings, we never got to build any of ours. Oh, so even that extra 2 that I gave him for free didn't matter. He still beat me. Red was the hard computer. It was playing as best as they could program the AI to play. But I gave him a good run for that. It was... if I had been able to attack him with one of those wars... Because, look, I finally got the strong, but it took me a long time to build that up. Because of that tactic. All right. So that is Through the Ages. I hope this was illuminating. If anything was unclear and you like the game, freaking get it, because the tutorial is phenomenal. It's really good. And you can click on anything to learn about it. As you can see, I was hovering over things and it told you, oh, they're getting this because of this bonus, etc., etc. And it's also got the rules. You can look up stuff. So congratulations to Red Steve Jobs. And there you go. So thanks, guys, for watching. We might play more of this in the future, but I'm also looking to play some Twilight Struggle on the stream, and I'm also looking to get back to the Crusader Kings stream that we had going on before. That's still on my radar. I just need to get some time, and I was just really interested in trying this out today because it was on sale and I grabbed it. So here you go. Have a good one, everybody.